Hey, just putting my link on Discord. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Yeah, I think the lag, I was doing a little reading just now, and the lag is due to me not having an encoder installed like OBS or something like that. So as soon as I get this thing updated or one of the other machines updated to something that'll run OBS, I think that'll take care of it. But yeah, I'm actually doing stuff. Oh, is that Mike? So, what else should I get out? We were testing this a little earlier, and I got some stuff out. This is the software package that came with the blue and white and the graphite CRT monitors. Let's see here. So we've got all that good stuff. Studio display. I was trying to think of the name of it. That's all the software that came with it. All the documentation. Nice. Oh, this thing's kind of made of plastic. So keep all that stuff together. And like I said, I'm just, I've had this stuff sitting on my shelves for so long, and now I'm just trying to organize it and put it in some sort of order. Like I'm going to put all the software on one side and all the hardware on another one. So, yeah, don't forget to like the video. Yeah. That seems to be something that people just kind of forget about or don't think that it matters, but it apparently does matter. But I'm not going to like harp about it. So I'm glad the audio is good, though. I'm using the same mic that I use for Mac Yak, so should be good enough. Okay. Well, let's see. Do we want to see software or do we want to see gadgets? Let me know what you want to see first. Hey, Christopher. Gadgets. Okay. Steve wants to see gadgets. All right. Well, first up, how about a Jazz Drive? This, they were what, 2 gigabytes? It's got your, I think that's ultra SCSI because it's the smaller connector, the more compact connector. But you've got your power. This is power switch. That's the power port. You got your SCSI ID settings and your SCSI ports. Yes, two gig drives. Yep. Oh, no, then it's 1 gig. This is the first. This is the. No, I was wrong. It says 2 gig right there. So, yeah, Jazz 2 gig. We used this occasionally back in the day, but most everything was on zip drives back then. It was kind of the standard after floppies kind of went out. Speaking of floppies, wipe this off. Oh, that's dirty. We have an external floppy drive for the old iMacs. This is a newer tech. U-Drive, USB floppy for Apple factory USB equipped computers. So if you got an iMac and you needed access to floppy disks, this was what you used. And really, the case is gigantic because the actual floppy disk drive is only about that big. So, but then you've got your power stuff back in here. So it's, your ports and all the extra junk. Yeah, and I don't remember if the super floppies worked in this or not. I don't think they did. Those were the big, like 120 meg floppy disks that came out not too long after that. But that thing came in handy at work quite a bit. The Jazz 2 gig is more reliable. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my chair is noisy. Yes. I call this Tower Row. I wanted to have all of my vintage towers on the same row, and they fit just barely. In fact, I think there's like that much space here next to the Quadra 700. Yeah, so we've got on the very end there, there's a G5. I think it's a single CPU, 1.8 gigahertz. And then next to that is the Quadra 950. And then we have a 6400 and a 6500. And then 2 power computing machines. And then this one here, if I can get my finger, there we go. That is a workgroup server 8150. So it's the PowerMac 8100, but it's the server variety. And then a Quadra 840 AV, which sadly isn't working, and a Quadra 700. And then on top of it is a Power CD, or no, those are the speakers for the Power CD, the Apple design speakers, the dark ones. Could hurt somebody with that thing. Yeah, the CRTs are, yeah, these two, I actually got these two from the same place, Jay, about 2 months after I gave you the other one that I had. And then I have another graphite one just behind me right down here. And that's the one that I actually had for many years already. Only one of those two over there is blue. And it works for now, so who knows if I try to move it again, who knows, it might not even work now. Yeah, the 8100 cases look great on the outside, but they are super fragile and they're really hard to work on. I mean, they're probably the worst design case internally that Apple ever came up with. They're just a bear to work on. And when you get those like super brittle plastics, this one I got, it had never been opened. Some guy in, I think San Diego had it. And I think I paid him, and this was back in the day when Macs were pretty cheap. I think I paid him $200 for it because it was still in the box. And it had been opened. It wasn't like sealed or anything. But as soon as I got it, I took it out because I had not seen a Mac in its original color in a long time. So don't let Jay touch the monitor. Yeah. See, now I feel terrible about that because that thing worked the last time I used it, and I took it down to Jay, and I think it worked for maybe 30 seconds and then started doing the, but yeah, those things are marked for death anyway. And I if one of these two goes out, if any of them go out, I'm going to try and do what he's doing and just put an LCD display in it because A, it'll be a hell of a lot lighter, and B, it'll look better, and it'll still have that, really cool vintage form factor. So, I'm getting tons of messages. What is? Thanks, Jay, for plugging my stream here. 7 viewers. Wow. Okay. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sorry for the lag. I'm actually broadcasting on a first gen Mac Pro, and I don't have, it's running Mavericks. So that's a little testament to these machines that I'm live streaming in 2020 on a 2006 Mac Pro running 2009 OS. So yeah. Okay, more gadgets. Hey, Distro Hopper. Oh, okay. The camera's not in here, but this is my first digital camera before phones had cameras on them. It's a Sony PowerShot. Yeah, they made CyberShot and they made PowerShot. This is a PowerShot A530. It was a 5 megapixel camera, and I think there were cameras on phones, but they were so crappy they weren't even like 1 megapixel yet, or they were just bad. So I got this, and it took some rudimentary video, but even today, the photo quality on this thing really isn't that bad. And I actually have the camera upstairs. I still use it from time to time, but with iPhones now and all that stuff, it's hard to remember to drag out a camera when you just have it on something you carry with you anyway. So, yeah, I really like the camera. I mean, the camera itself is like, it's like that big. So, it's easy to carry. It's got a wrist strap on it. I mean, I took it on vacation all the time. I took a lot of pictures with that camera. Okay, so here's another thing. This is a remote control for a Apple Power CD, which I thought was down here. Maybe not. I guess I didn't bring it down yet, but the Power CD was a Apple branded Philips CD player, and it was in this dark gray color, and it was really cool. And that, like I said, that's what those little speakers right there are for. And it's a really cool looking little setup, and I like it. I used to see that at Micro Center every time I'd go in there as a teenager. And I was like, I want one of those, and I finally ended up getting one. And it's a great little CD player, and of course it's integrated with Mac OS. And so as you put a CD in, it opens up the Apple CD audio player. This is stuff that. What is this? This is just old PC gear. Probably going to get rid of that. That's nothing special. I showed this earlier, but since it's my favorite keyboard that Apple ever made, adjustable keyboard. I have two of these. The first one I have has several keys that don't work, and I haven't looked into it yet to see why. But then I got this one from Scott Barrett, who's one of the moderators of the Vintage Apple Macintosh Enthusiast Facebook group. And he lives in Pittsburgh area, and he comes over to Easton here in Columbus all the time. So I told him I was looking for one. He brought it over for me. And then he gave me I already put it away, but they gave me the manual for it and all kinds of cool stuff. And the number pad and the wrist rests and all that stuff. Let's see. All right. Here's a couple that go together. Oh, what did I do there? Okay. Bruce thinks his keyboards are ridiculous. It looks silly, and it does take up a lot of room when you put the wrist rests on it and stuff. But my God, when I started typing on that, my wrists instantly felt better because you can adjust it to whatever's comfortable. Because, I'm sure you've seen all the marketing for it, but when you type on a regular keyboard, your hands are like this, so your wrists are actually bent forward a little bit. But when you can type on this thing, when you put your hands down, they're normally, you want to sit like this without bending your wrists at all. And so when you get that keyboard and it's angled, Microsoft makes a keyboard like that. Hell, everybody makes keyboards like that now. But that one was one of the first that I ever saw that was adjustable like that. And it just took care of I did a lot of typesetting back in the day, took care of my wrist problems. I think it actually prevented me from developing carpal tunnel, to be honest. Okay, so here we have a keyboard and mouse for a 512K. And I think it probably worked for the 128 and the Mac Plus also, but I have a 512K up on that shelf back there. So these go with it, and it still works. I love the way these keys sound. It's a great sound. And even the mouse, as big as clunky as it is, you know, it's just fun to use those. I would love to see if you could modify one of those to work on a computer nowadays. I'm sure you can. I'm just not electronically proficient at that kind of stuff yet. What else do we have in here? Oh, we got a lot of cables. More keyboards. Nothing particularly exciting in there. Yeah, vote 512K. Hey, that's topical. I actually have a keyboard for a G4, but it's in the other room. I have a lot of keyboards. Okay. Ooh. Here we go. Now this I bought for my 2SI back in the day, which is sitting up there. Oops. Just below those LCs right there. I bought this for that because I had a game called Stellar 7. Yeah. Stellar 7. And this game is damn near impossible to control with the keyboard. At least I thought so. So I bought this for that. And I got to the point in the game where it just became so difficult that I think I used this for maybe a month, and then I put it back in this box. So you can see this tape on here. This is tape from like, I don't know, 1994 or 5, something like that. So, but it's a great little joystick. I just didn't have any other games that I used it with. So, should I take it out of here? Should I take it out for the first time in 25 years? Hey, Scarlet Swordfish. Yes, I'm doing stuff. I'll take it out of here. Oh, that tape just broke. Wow. I have not looked at this thing literally in almost 30 years. Well, there's your drivers, your software, and all that good stuff. All right, here it is. Get the documentation out of the way. Everything came with documentation back in the day. A little bit dusty. There she is. So you got it's an ADB device. You got your joystick here. And it's very arcade-like. You know, you got your trigger, and you got 2 buttons up here. And it feels very fluid. You have your sensitivity dial here. But yeah, that was the game that I bought it for, and I suppose I have others by now that I could use it for. I just haven't ever gotten it out. But it's in really good shape. It better be for being in a box for all these years. So let me put this back in the box here. Oh, and it's got one of those dual ADB. It takes 2 ADB. Well, one's a male and one's a female, and I'm not exactly sure why. But you can see there, and I don't remember why that is. Maybe these are serial ports. No, that's ADB. They're both ADB. But anyway, this might have been so you can plug it into another device. I bet that was what it was for. So I will pop this back in here and trying to tear this old box. Pass through. Yeah, another device. Yep. Yeah, because I think you could put like 120 some devices on an ADB chain. Isn't that right? I don't think I ever tried. Mac Mouse Stick 2. I don't think I ever saw the Mouse Stick 1, but that's it. Sorry, I'm just trying to put all this away. All right. Okay, what's going on here? 127 is USB. You can do a dozen or half that on ADB. 127 theoretically. I thought it was like some outrageous number. Like who would have 120 some ADB devices on their computer? But yeah, Crazy Ken's next project. What game had I bought? Oh, the mouse, the joystick. This is the game I had bought the joystick for. It's called Stellar 7. And so you can get that. That's actual screenshot of the gameplay there. But it was basically like a 3D, you're in a spaceship or some sort of a fighter craft and you're shooting at tanks and towers and all kinds of things. There's the back of it. I love that 90s art. There's your bad guy right there. Crazy robot anime dude. That's obviously from a cutscene, but and the cutscene was no more than just static art back in those days. But yeah, it's a fun game, and it can get pretty addictive, but it also gets hard. And the harder it gets, the more of you kind of need a beefier computer, as I recall. I played it on my 2SI, and like the early levels were pretty playable, but then as you get more enemies and stuff coming into the scene, it starts to chunk, and it just got really difficult to play. I've never actually tried it on a different machine, but one of these days I'm going to get around to doing that because I haven't played this in forever. Let's see. More devices. Well, this is kind of a that's a PC part. It's actually an old PC part. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Sorry, I just kind of have this stuff piled up because I've been trying to reorganize my shelves. Okay, so this is a brand new inbox US Robotics 56K modem. And it still has the wrapping and all that good stuff on it. I bought it for my sister when she went to college, and they, over the summer before she started, they installed a T1 line, so you didn't need dial-up anymore. So she never actually ended up using this and just gave it back to me, and I never had a use for it, so it stayed in the box all these years. I think this was, I want to say this was like 99 or 2000, 2003, okay, 2003. So, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting kit now, I guess. I mean, who uses a 56K modem anymore? Oh, Tetris would be fun to play that with. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get a version of that off of Macintosh Garden. Are those HP Laser Gen? No, this is so that is a Laser Writer 2 NTX made by Apple. Well, it's a Canon. They were all Canons back in the day, but that's their brand. And then there's two StyleWriter 2 printers right there. They were inkjets. And then what you can't see, let's see if I can turn the screen here. Okay. So right here we have an ImageWriter 2, which that's like Steve's favorite printer. And then on the very end, which is behind, you can't quite see it, but there's a LaserWriter Pro up there. And that was like the next gen model of these. It was a laser printer, but it was a little more sleek and compact and I think faster. Probably printed a little bit better. So yeah, that's the only ImageWriter 2 that I have. So I got it from a school back when I got my LC2 and my Classic. I got it from a school, and I think I paid like $5 for it, and I paid $10 each for the computers. And the Classic is dead now. I still have the case up there. I think it's in the back because it's just parts, but the LC2 has been recapped, and it's right behind me on top of the 2SI. So there's an LC and an LC2 right above it. Yeah, I know Steve has like 6 or 7 of those, right? Does it have the ports on the sides or the legs? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. These things are a lot heavier than they look. So there's the side. That is what? That's the power outlet. So there's the port. What's the significance of that? I have the lightest one. Oh wow. Okay. It's pretty yellow. It's one of the yellower things that I've got. One of these days I'll have to. I think I have a box of dot matrix paper that I'm going to hook it up with, and I think I have another ribbon or two. I don't think I have any color ones, but yeah, we'll get it working. I mean, it's intact. There's no broken or cracked pieces anywhere. The rubber feet are still on it. Even on the front, this bit right here is still kind of tacky. So yeah. Let's see. Had the ports on the legs, not on the sides. I didn't know that. Oh boy. Windows 98. Don't know if I'll ever use that again. That's going to go in the PC junk file. Oh, let's see. What's this? Oh, so this came from the Apple Store back in 2012 when I bought this. 2012 Mac Mini. This has been caved in a little bit, but it was so weird to bring home an entire computer in just this box. And I thought it was really cool packaging, so I saved it. I'm actually going to put it back inside the bag so I don't lose them. But I still use that Mini as my home theater PC upstairs. That's what I watch my Plex on. That's what I watch YouTube and Netflix and whatever else. And I love that little Mac Mini. Such a great little machine. Is that a first or second edition of 98? Oh. Second edition. Yep. It's got the key and everything. Second edition, Windows 98 for distribution with a new PC only. Right. Let's see. Yeah, those bags were really cool. I don't know, what do they use now? Probably not those because they're not environmentally friendly. But oh, here we go. Now again, the contents are not in here, but ba-bum. Aha. Eyesight. I just thought the packaging was so cool, you know, the graphics and, you know, just a neat little package for such a really cool camera. And then of course the pieces that come out, you know, are also really cool looking. Like that's the old cheese grater design because they were designed for the Mac Pro, and they even copied it along here. That's what I started streaming with on MacChat or MacYak. With my original eyesight. That's why the image looked like garbage for a while. You know, but for back in the day, that was absolutely perfect. And till this day, it's still a decent little camera as long as you don't need, you know, crazy levels of detail and you're not using low light situation. So they give paper bags today. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the iPods came in similar boxes, yeah. Okay, just random stuff here. Let's see. G4 mouse. This, I didn't mind this mouse. Even though it's one button, I was still using these at the time because I hadn't gotten the hang of, well, I hadn't become a big fan of right-clicking yet. I was still using control-click back in the day. And they feel good. I mean, it's the right size for your hand. It's comfortable. Everything after this, garbage. Okay. Oh, there's the disc for that. Okay. What else do we have? Mighty Mouse was underappreciated. You know, like to each their own. But the Mighty Mouse, I think, was that the white one with the little tiny scroll wheel on it? Is that what that was, or was that the little flat one? No, the Magic Mouse is the little flat one that you have to charge upside down. That's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. The Mighty Mouse. Actually, yeah, here it is. I think this is it. Is that the Mighty Mouse? Right there? I don't know if these are, no, those aren't buttons. They're just grips, and I don't think this one does right click, but that little scroll wheel is kind of nice if you are just getting used to it. If you're used to one of the bigger scroll wheels, this thing is a pain because it goes so fast. But yeah, I was using this not too long ago, and they're all right. I mean, it's shaped a lot like the other one, so it's comfortable. But the ball does a click. Let's see. So these are squeeze buttons. They don't click, but they actually do something if you squeeze them. This must be an early version or something. I'm old. Model A1152. So I don't know if those are actual buttons or not, but pressure sensitive buttons. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but I don't feel anything when I push this mouse button. It doesn't make a sound or anything. So maybe it's just pressure. Oh, okay. The ball gets gunked up. Well, don't they all? I mean, come on. What else is in this box? Your average old Apple ADB keyboards everybody's seen 100 times. Let's see. Oh, okay. This goes with the Mac Mini. So this is a newer tech drive enclosure, and this one came with a 750 gig drive. And with the drive is dead now, but I used to have my entire iTunes library on this. And so this sat on top of my G4 Mini, and with iTunes home sharing, I could stream music anywhere in the house. And then this died, and I just haven't got another drive for it yet. But it's a great little enclosure. It's got USB 2, unfortunately, and then FireWire 400. And so, but you've got the two different types of USB 2 ports here. You got the little one, and then the two standard. And then over here, I think this was maybe for daisy chaining. I'm not sure if you had more than one, but yeah, it's a great. And then this switch tells it either you do all FireWire or you switch it to auto, and it will auto detect. I never had much luck with the auto detect, but so I just put it on FireWire and I hooked it up with FireWire cables and worked great. So I'd like to find another drive for it, but those ATA drives didn't come any bigger than 750 gigs. I don't think so. Yeah, that was kind of different about that scroll wheel. It was going all in up and down, left and right. Yeah. All hail FireWire 400. That's right. I miss FireWire. I know it's very slow compared to stuff nowadays, but oh boy. I suppose, let's see. Okay. Well, first, let me show you what is right behind me. This is, sorry, just trying to get things out of the way because I got to move my chair here. So let me move my chair over. So right there is another Apple Network server. And there's a bunch of junk in front of it, or I'd pull it out. But there are, hold on. There we go. You can see some of this other crap here. So every one of these drive bays, so you've got a floppy disk, CD-ROM, DAT drive, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drive bays. And every one of these drive bays has a 9 gig SCSI drive in it, which was the largest drive that they offered at the time to come with it. And I drove out to Chicago a few weekends ago, and I picked this up from a guy. I made a big trade for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to get it. I think he was either asking like $1,500, which is one of the lowest prices I've seen for these in a long time. But I ended up doing a trade of like 4 different machines that he really wanted. And it didn't really matter to him to have the money. He just kind of wanted these machines. He's a collector like me. And that's, in the community, you help each other out instead of gouging each other, Jonathan Goldman. And that's, made the deal. And so I've never seen one that had more than one hard drive in it. And he also put a redundant power supply down the bottom of this thing. This is a Model 500. I have a 700 upstairs that I bought last year. And it's so weird how you get one of these things after you search for so many years, and then all of a sudden another one falls in your lap after 20 plus years of searching for one of these things, and frankly saving up for one, because the one upstairs was fairly expensive. But anyway, it also has the RAID card in it that Apple made for these things. I've never seen one that had the RAID card in it. And then it has 2 Ethernet cards in it, and I believe they are 10100 cards. I don't think they had gigabit back then, at least not for these. But so what also came with that is let's see where. Oh yeah. The Macintosh TV. Yeah, I actually got this from a guy. I don't remember how many years ago. He sold it to me for $25. He knew what it was worth. And again, this is an indication of the community helping each other out. He knew I really, really wanted one. He had one at home that was still in the box. And I mean, not sealed. Who keeps anything sealed anymore? He had it in the box, all the original documentation, all the original, parts and pieces that came with it. And he said, that's the one that's worth more. So I'll sell this one for you to $25 because I don't want to take it all the way back home. And so it works. I've had